Nick, it seemed like they were pressing you guys a little bit in the first half just by nature of making some of those tough shots. How do you guys feel like you responded to some of that pressure to kind of take off and pull away in the second?
Yeah, hats off to them. They made a lot of tough shots at the end of the clock. But I just think it foreshadows to our next game coming up against BYU. A lot of talented offensive players who going to make some tough shots at the end of the clock. So just keep plugging. And I'm glad that we stayed the course. And second half, we took even more pride on getting stops one-on-one, and it paid off.
Michael?
Awesome. They were getting into the lane pretty easily in the beginning of the game. I guess, what did you guys do to try to stop that, make those looks a little bit tougher?
Yeah, I mean, I think going into halftime, we emphasized one-on-one defense. They did a really good job of, playing one-on-one offense, and they'll get into the ring making tough shots for sure. But as Nick just emphasized, we're about to play BYU, and that's what those guys do. They play one-on-one offense, and they make tough plays at the rim. So I really thought in that second half we gapped up more, and we had our teammates' backs, and it really showed out.
Right up front here. Thank you.
John, you two mentioned BYU coming up, but what maybe stands out the most to you about these first 4 games and how you guys have played?
I think we got better every game. I think we got to grow and learn each other's game a little bit more every single game, and it's only going to get better. That's the only way up is for us, and I think we're playing defense together a little bit better. Obviously, that first half we gave up 20 points, but second half, that maturity showed, our leadership showed, and just buckled down the second half.
Right behind you, if you would, please. Thank you.
For Nick, only 4 turnovers as a team. I think you had 15 a week ago. Just how were you able to kind of turn that around, and how much was that an emphasis over the last week or so?
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable job tonight. But I feel like the last game, it kind of started with myself, kind of lazy with the ball. I think I had a turnover where I threw it to Aussie, and the guy just jumped it. So I just think, it starts with the guards, myself, JB, Andrew Rohde. So if we take care of it, everybody else follows. So as long as we keep our turnovers down and stay focused throughout the whole game and not get loose with it, we're a team that won't turn it over much.
Let's go to Ben, please. And then Michael. Oh, Michael. Go ahead, Michael. Sorry, Ben.
John, you know how demanding this defense is. I guess, how have you guys progressed throughout these first 4 games, and what are the new guys, I guess, showing the most improvement in?
I think we progressed on team defense, having each other's back, not worrying about individually. Like if my man scores, I think, if Nick guy drives to the basket, he gets beat, I have his back, or if my guy drives to the basket, Aussie has my back. I think that's where we got better, and then just communicated, we got to speak up more and not filling out the opponent just from the jump, just trying to set our defense.
Go ahead.
For any of the guys in the group, 19 assists, very unselfish, very selfless type of play of basketball. I mean, just what does that say about this team? Just spreading the ball around and passing the rock to one another.
I just think it's contagious. Like I said, it starts off with the guards, myself, JB, Andrew Rohde. We got to just trust that we're gonna get it back. I know we believe in ourselves so much to make the play, but we got a bunch of talent on this team. It goes, 15 deep. So sharing the ball is contagious, and keep that up. We'll have a great year.
John up front.
Nick, there's like a 4-minute stretch in that first half where you had 10 points pretty quickly, an assist, a steal. Kind of what was going right there, and what do you think that kind of shows about what you can do in terms of making a big impact in a short amount of time? Yeah,
just being aggressive. That's just my mindset. Be aggressive. Whether it's on offense, defense, just be a dog, be aggressive. And, people don't like when you just coming at them constantly. So I'm finding my spots, getting more and more comfortable every single time and just learning from the guys around me. Obviously, it's my first year. Guys like JB helped me. Nolan Winter know a lot about this system. Jack Janicki. I took a lot of, information from him as well. So being aggressive.
Let's go Cam, and then
John, as you get into a little bit tougher part of the schedule, going into the season, obviously a ton of new faces, a bunch of guys who can shoot, score, handle the ball. How important has it been to, kind of be able to figure out how to all coexist as one unit throughout these first 4 games?
I think that's just basketball. You got to learn how to play with other good players, especially at the level that we're playing at right now. And I know these 3 have a dream and aspiration of playing at the next level. So, you got to get it together. And like I think coach did a good job and our staff did a good job of putting the right pieces together as a team. Like guys who feed off each other. Like, you know, me and Nick get downhill. We got a guy like Ozzy that we brought in that could just spray it, and a guy like Nolan who does it as well. And then, you know, our bigs get along really well from when they find the high lows, and we have great passing bigs. I think all credit to the coaches with finding guys are talented and that can cohese together.
Ben and Manuel.
Austin, when Nick and John are creating and are effective as they are scoring, how much easier does that make things on you, and how do things open up for you when you have these two working the way they did tonight?
I mean, they're super talented. They're some of the best guys in the country. So, you know, my job is to help them get open, but I'm helping them get open because I know that they're going to find me when I'm open. And they do a really good job getting downhill, and defense collapsed a lot because they're so talented going downhill and making plays. So I got a lot of open shots tonight, and I'm going to get a lot of them coming up here soon, just because how talented these guys are to my left, getting downhill, coming off ball screens, and they're going to find me too. That's another thing. They have a really good balance of when to go get theirs, and then they know that they've got shooters around them who are going to make shots, and we just got to continue to do our role and make shots and make their lives easier.
Austin, I want to stick with you. 4 games in, where do you feel that you gotten more comfortable with the offense?
Yeah, I think, as you said, this is a whole new team. We've got obviously a few guys returning. This is a big step up from where I was last year. So just for me, finding my footing and taking opportunities where I can. And I think a big thing for us is no one on our team is going to be a selfish player. We're always going to find the open man and continue to play team basketball. So I think over the last 4 games, I've done a good job of just playing with my teammates, being unselfish, and we'll continue to do that as the season goes on.
I thought, obviously, first half defensively, we gave up too much in the paint. Second half, we were able to get that under control. Obviously, our ability to share the ball offensively and really keep the pace and stay in sync offensively was important. Obviously, we know we've got guys that can score, but defensively, I thought we much better in the second half at stopping, well, just quite frankly, not getting beat off the dribble and having gap help and rim protection. So now we obviously move on to Friday, and we know we need this type of test that's coming, not only Friday, but next week too in San Diego. So I think we've gotten to a point where we need to see what's coming, and we know the challenge it's going to be. I think this group is ready for it. They're hungry for it, and I'm proud of how they've handled these games. I think we've gotten better as time has gone on in different areas. I thought Boyd was really good tonight in dispersing the ball. Obviously, Garlock's 4 assists, no turnovers. And we just kept at it offensively, and eventually, were able to just completely blow the game open. Like I said, now we're on to bigger and better things. Questions?
We got Evan and then Nick.
Coach, you touched on it, but obviously they hit some really tough shots in the paint in the first half to keep it close. But what was the biggest difference in terms of you guys just keeping the ball out of the paint and not even allowing those attempts to happen?
Yeah, we were better on the ball, just keeping the ball in front of us. I thought our gap presence was better. We were a little better in shocking ball screens. I thought the first half we either didn't shock the ones I've looked at halftime, or we weren't aggressive enough with it. And then there was a couple we just flat got beat off the dribble. So they did hit some of those mid-range 8-10 footers, but to go from 22 points in the paint to 6 points in the paint for them from half to half, I thought was a mark that we're obviously not allowing the ball to get there. Teams are going to hit the tougher twos, but it was the ones where we had breakdowns and they get right to the rim that we got better at in the second half.
Nick, go ahead, please.
Greg, your starting backcourt at 54 points, 8 assists, just 1 turnover. John complimented you and the staff on just how well this lineup was put together. Is it a little bit of what you envision? I know just one game tonight, and just how tough can that group really be when they're playing so unselfishly? Yeah, I think, we think it's 8 assists, no turnovers, because Blackwell's turnover, we didn't have possession when they had the goofy thing. The kid launched it from half court thinking there was a shot clock. So we have to go back through and get official ruling on that.
I don't know who's in charge of stats in here, but Denny, is that you? Not you?
They reset the shot clock.
Okay, and shouldn't have done that because there was no possession. Right.
We had to turn because they reset it.
Right. They shouldn't have reset it, so it shouldn't have been a turnover. All right. So what were you asking about? Oh, that backcourt and no, I think it is. It's a group that obviously you got two guys that were here last year that have a feel for it. But then I think every game, as I've said, the experience helps us, whether it's a Nick Boyd or whether it's a Will Garlock or a Hayden Jones as true freshman. You know, I think anytime you can get on the court and get some reps and get experience and get game action, and I think Boyd's getting better. The dispersing of the ball was really important for him to take that step tonight and find people, and because it makes us so much better offensively when he's, because we know he can attack, we know he can get to the rim, but when he gets the ball moving and dispersing it, we go to another level offensively. But yeah, the backcourt is, you know, it's a good backcourt, and you know, we got to keep getting better though. I think they can get even better.
Michael?
You thought coming into the season that the offense would be lifted by kind of the individual talent as you guys learned to play together, but have you seen the same thing on the defensive end with the playmaking and, you know, some of the individual talent that you get there? Like, have you gotten a similar boost?
Yeah, I think we're, even though at times it doesn't look like it, we're better offensively or defensively because we're bigger. You know, I think we're longer. Not only, I'm not talking about 7-footers and bringing 7 feet and 6'10" off the bench, but I'm talking even at the wings. You know, Rhodey's length, Blackwell's length, Carrington is long for his size. So I think just that, Janicki's activity, even though he got some fouls tonight, I think just we can get in passing lanes when we need to. And the one thing about, you know, the 3 transfers that are playing a lot in the backcourt, Boyd, Carrington, Rhodey, all have experience in good defensive systems and understand. They rarely get out of position. Rhodey's probably the best at it in terms of covering up and plugging gaps, and he's got really active hands, quick hands. He anticipates well, and then obviously Boyd's ability to put pressure on the ball, you know, is good as well. So I think it collectively, you know, Jones is a big guard at 6'6", so I think that length helps us too defensively. We're hard when we do things right and we don't have breakdowns. We're hard to score against because we've got size across the not only the back line but the guards too. We're harder to shoot over.
Let's go John and then Ruth.
Greg, you were mentioning, you know, Nick's ability to disperse the ball, but I think it's 5 different players in the second half with an assist, 11 assists off 14 made field goals. Kind of when you guys are moving the ball this well, kind of even though the shots weren't always following this half, kind of what does that enable this offense to do?
Yeah, I mean, it gets us good looks, and eventually we got enough guys that can shoot it that one of them, you know, somebody's going to bust loose, and that's what I meant about just the second half. Even though defensively the first half we weren't as good as we needed to be, we just kept in sync offensively, and then we got our footing defensively, and then you're able to, like I said, expand the lead. But yeah, I mean, we have to have unselfish players. You know, and it's a really good system, and we've got a lot of guys that can shoot it. I like the pace we're playing with. You know, and obviously tonight, 19 assists on 29 baskets. We're sharing it, and it makes us harder to guard, and it makes anybody in the country when you have a lot of assists. That means that ball's really moving, and we had to tonight because of how SIUE plays and packing the paint. We knew they were going to gum it up, and we were going to have to really move it in order to get good looks, and we were able to do that.
Let's go Rue right up front here, please. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, I know you always talk about getting better, so I wanted to ask you a 2-parter. 1, what's impressed you the most about this group through 4 games? And 2, what is that next step to maybe being consistent for 44 minutes?
Yeah, I think the thing that's impressed me the most is even though they've come from different places and have spent different amounts of time here and other places, their coachability is really, really good. I mean, they listen, they want to get better, they have great suggestions, they ask the right questions, and I get asked about that ad nauseum about the portal and having new guys and the chemistry of the team. When you have like-minded individuals in the locker room, you'll have a united team. And that's what we have, and that's the coachability. They take coaching. Some guys, I get after them in the huddle, and they respond, and they want to be better. They want to do something special. Second part about get better, defensive consistency. I think that's the thing. Sometimes first half I thought even though we were shooting some good threes, I didn't think we put enough pressure on the rim. Whether that was transition running, Nolan got one in transition on a goaltend, but putting pressure on the rim is important, specifically against a team that builds a wall in transition, and then more rolls to the rim and pressure on the rim that way. And we got to the bonus. I didn't think we capitalized enough on it with really attacking the paint as hard as we should have in that first half. So I'd say those are probably the two things to really stay aggressive on that rim, and then the defensive consistency.
On the eight steals y'all had tonight, you turned it into points on 7 of those possessions, or I guess depending on how you want to look at it, on all 7 of those. Okay. Depending on the Blackwell of it all. But 18 points. I mean, is that a credit to just y'all getting your hands on the ball and knowing that you need to push right away, or is it something else?
No, I think we have the ability based on how the individual, I mentioned the length of different guys, and the activity and the awareness. I think we have the ability to cause some turnovers, and create turnovers defensively. And then obviously we're pretty well wired to play aggressive in transition. So if we have that opportunity and we have an open floor, most likely we're gonna come pretty quickly at that, and that's a great time to attack, is when that offense that was offense now quickly has to convert to defense, and we can catch them in transition. We want to make sure we're putting, again, pressure on them in transition. So it's both. It's our ability to create some turnovers, and then when we do, let's go quickly capitalize on it.
Michael.
Alexis caught one of Nick's no-look fastballs. I guess what's impressed you about his hands so far, just early in his career?
Alexis's hands? Well, I can count all the ones he's dropped, the rebounds and the things. A couple games ago, I told Schneider, my strength coach, to go get 2 buckets of rice. We were going to work on, and he goes, he's got the strongest hands on the team. I said, okay, well, then we won't. It's not the rice issue. I think the thing with Alexis is he's just gotten more and more comfortable, and he, his activity, he got us going a little bit in the first half with his activity on the offensive glass, kept the possession alive, scored on one. He had one of the miscues in the second half where he helped off the same side and gave up a 3. And when he came out, he goes, I can't impersonate his accent but he said, don't help from the same side, right? And I go, yes. He goes, and I think he swore in Lithuanian, but I didn't understand it. He wasn't swearing at me. He was frustrated with himself. So I think for Alexis, it's just he's getting more and more comfortable. It's a big transition. Just think of all the things he's gone through since late August of coming here, not knowing anyone. He met me on a Zoom call. I met him for the first time in September when I got back from our daughter's wedding, walking down Dayton Street. He probably wondered, who the hell's this stranger walking at him as I parked my car and walked up the street. So it's just imagine that. And then you got to go play basketball too. And then, so he's just more comfortable, and it's allowing his talent to shine.
Right in the middle there, Coach.
Obviously, BYU's roster's changed quite a bit since you saw them in March. Just what are your early impressions from what you've been able to see of them? I don't know how much you've been able to see them.
I don't think I've seen 3-4 possessions against Villanova when it was on that, because it was on before our game when I was sitting in the coach's locker room. Really talented. Stating the obvious there. So I'll start watching here tonight. I know assistants have been working ahead on, as they always do, on the scout, but I know Saunders is back. I thought he was terrific last year in our game. He was the difference maker. Some other guys are back, and obviously everybody talks about DeBansta, and rightfully so. So a super talented team. Obviously they've been tested. They've gone through some games with Villanova, UConn, two that come to mind. But we'll have our hands full. But it's great for us. We need it. It's a great opportunity in this time of year to play a game like that against an exceptionally talented team, quasi road game. But that's why you do this. It's what these guys want, these type of games, and so do I. So we're looking forward to Friday.
We got Cam, and then we got Ben for the final questions.
Okay.
You mentioned some of the tough games coming up. What were you hoping to get out of these first 4 games, and do you feel like you, achieved what you were hoping for?
Yeah, get better, and that's not necessarily looking at final scores or stats. It's what our understanding is of things. We're getting better at diagnosing issues before I have to point them out on film or point them out in a huddle. I think we're self-correcting a little bit better. So I think we've got what we could get out of it. I got the chance to play a lot of guys. I wanted to develop a bench. I think we've got a pretty good idea but it's got to continue to grow. Specifically, Belauskas, Jones, and Garlock, I think, are 3 guys that, because they're young, can take. I don't know as much about their games in the type of games that are coming. Obviously, Braden's got experience in these type of games. Jack's got experience in these type of games, and again, against this level of competition that's coming. But those other 3 guys don't yet, and so that'll be, go play. Hayden's got. Actually, I should say, Belauskas and Jones have played at a world level and in Euro Cups and World Cups. So it'll be good. For we're all going to learn something from it, and we need to be pushed. We need to be tested. And we will, no doubt, on Friday.
Final question. Ben, you good?
Hey, you guys got any back here? You 3 guys that I let in late? Any question? No question? All right. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Gave you your chance.